Here's something that might surprise you. Our definition of family has shifted so dramatically that 46% of self identified pet parents are actually parents to human children, too. It completely challenges what we think we know about modern families.
That's fascinating. What's driving this evolution in how we view our relationships with pets?
Well, the research points to some major social changes. Marriage rates are declining, people are staying single longer, and we're seeing more child free adults. These researchers, Owens and Grauer Holtz, found that these shifts are creating space for what they call interspecies families.
So, how did they study these changing family dynamics?
They conducted in depth interviews with a diverse group average age, around 36, mix of single and married people, different income levels. What's really interesting is that about 20% of participants, mostly men, completely rejected the pet parent label, even though they saw their pets as family.
Hmm. How did they describe their relationships instead?
They used terms like roommate or companion. One person even described themselves as just the one that can pour the food. But here's where it gets really interesting. Many were animal rights activists who believed the whole concept of pet ownership was problematic.
That's quite a philosophical stance. How did they explain their reasoning?
One participant put it really well. They said they hate the idea of owning an animal because it implies superiority. They viewed it more as sharing lives together. When their pet scratched them, they'd think, what did I do to annoy them? Rather than blaming the animal.
And what about the people who did embrace the pet parent role?
That's where we saw these fascinating patterns emerge. Childless pet parents often saw it as practice for future human parenting. They focused heavily on training and teaching. One participant even talked about preparing their dog for visitors, just like you would a child.
How did that compare to people with both human children and pets?
The differences were striking. Parents of young children often expressed guilt about giving less attention to their pets after having kids. One participant described trying to dedicate evening time specifically to their cats because they felt bad about the reduced attention during the day.
That must create some complicated dynamics in these interspecies families.
Exactly. And what's fascinating is how it changed again with parents of older children. They actually emphasized the similarities between raising pets and kids, focusing more on mutual care and joy rather than training or discipline.
So it sounds like our approach to pet parenting evolves along with our life circumstances.
Precisely. And the researchers found something really interesting. People without children often borrowed language from traditional parenting narratives, possibly to legitimize their role as caregivers. One participant even talked about wishing there was a cat school they could send their pet to.
Looking ahead, what do you think this means for how we'll define family in the future?
Well, as our society continues to evolve and traditional family structures become more fluid, these human-animal bonds might become even more significant. We're already seeing how these relationships adapt and deepen based on our life circumstances. It's really redefining what we mean when we talk about family in the 21st century.